All right, everybody. Today we're going to be talking all about any questions and answers, like just Q and A with Sydney. She's an amazing web designer. She actually did my web design, and I specifically decided to work with her because she's incredible with SEO. So if you don't know already, there are some videos about it, but SEO is search engine optimization, and that is exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight. So definitely, if you've got questions, if this is in the future, don't reach out to Sydney directly, but like you could ask me questions. But Sydney is also open at this time. If you would like to book her for your website, you can reach out to her at this time directly. And I'll change that later if that changes. Oh, fun. Nice to meet you. So, Sydney, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? And then we'll just go ahead and get started.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm Sydney. I'm a professional life coach full time. Primarily do like personal growth and work-life balance coaching, but I used to work for website design companies back when I worked for other people. God, it feels so good not to work for other people. And so, yeah, now I still just do websites if I get like referrals or somebody, like a friend of a friend sends somebody my way, but primarily I do life coaching right now. But yeah, I love designing Squarespace websites, just like really simple, user-friendly sites. Nothing super fancy. They're pretty basic, but easy to use. And then implementing the SEO so that if somebody is searching for your service in your city, that you will start to come up. I've gotten quite a few clients from having the SEO on my own website as a life coach in Boise, Idaho. And then also utilizing the Google My Business has been huge too. I think I have like, I don't even know, either 30 or 40 reviews on my Google My Business, which has also gotten me clients because people will see like, oh my gosh, this woman has a lot of reviews for her job title in her city. So people will be way more likely to pick you over the other service providers that are listed in your area, depending on like what your job title is.
Amazing. And that is literally why I hired you. I'm so grateful for you to give me that insight. And like I'll tell everyone who I work with and feel comfortable about sharing this for posterity. Today I was trading my social media manager and my we I think we liked a hashtag. We did something where I hadn't posted in a month because of other issues with social media. And I ended up getting I wasn't able to post reels, and then just like all of these different things happened today, and it was a bit stressful. And I was like, this is just perfect timing because I want to make sure that as a business, you have multiple outlets to create to bring your creation to more people. And I know that social media is a huge platform. I talk you through that. I would love for you guys to have your website to also be a place where you're maybe reposting some posts that you've already used. Maybe if you have posted it to Instagram or another form of social media, you can also replicate it for a blog post. And then you're not completely dependent on social media to sustain your business. Cause I may or may not have had like a minor panic attack when that was going on today. It was not great, definitely not fun. And that's why I'm like, okay, if there's any way I can prevent this for you guys in the future, that would be awesome. So thank you so much, Sydney, for coming on today. I'm so, so grateful. And yeah, so I think that you had some ideas for some conversations around this. And I would love to go ahead and get started with what to do, how, and I think Demetria had a question where she was like,
Mhm.
what do I do if I have just made the website? What's the best bang for my buck when as far as time for what should I be spending my time on for SEO? And I'm going to mute myself just in case there's feedback for some reason.
Yeah, that's a great question about like where to start. I would say um definitely watch the videos on like how to design the homepage. It's just like a really easy, simple layout. And then there's another video on how to implement the SEO on the site, like with the images, how many times to like mention your job title on the homepage, and then it'll show you how to do the meta title and meta descriptions too. That'll be really, really helpful. I laugh because when I was like watch the videos, I laughed because I didn't put any audio on them, because when I went to make the videos, I just kept rambling and talking and talking and talking, and I was like, okay, we're not going to do any audio on these on these website videos. We're just gonna just do it visually. So if you have like two screens, it'll be easier that way to like see what I'm doing and then do it on yours. But I would say the videos will be helpful. And the Google My Business, I would get that up like as soon as you can. It's free. You can just type into Google, like Google My Business, and then you can go through the process of setting that up. And then it's super easy. You just put your business name and then your job title as well. That part's really important because a lot of people only put their business name for their Google My Business, but you want to put, like, if you do life coaching, you want to put your business name and the words life coaching in it, because people are going to be searching, life coach in Las Vegas or something, and you want to come up for that. So the Google My Business would be a perfect place to start with your business name and your job title. And then it'll let you pick a category. Like it has like hairstylist, tattoo artist, like life coach, business consultant. It has like every category on there. And then I would start just getting reviews on there, as many as you possibly can. The more you have, the more you will start to rank in your city for your keyword. Your keyword might be life coach or business consultant or yoga teacher or whatever it is. I emailed all my past life coaching clients pretty much like every week until all of them left me a review. And nobody got mad. They were just like, oh, I'm sorry, I got busy or I forgot. I was like, no worries, just would really appreciate a review. So that's what I suggest, just like reaching out to everyone you've ever worked with and just asking them for a review. And if you wanted to also, you could like give them something for free in exchange, like maybe a free e-guide or a free video or something that like doesn't take up more of your time. That worked really well for me. I put like in the subject of the email, I put like something like Google review plus like free surprise inside. And I just sent it every single week until everybody left me reviews. And now I have tons on there. So the Google My Business would be a great place to start. And then those website videos will teach you like a good layout to have, and then how many times to mention certain words, because SEO is really just a words game. You just have to put the right words the right amount of times in the right places, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. And if you guys don't feel like doing this, like I'm here and I can do it for you if you prefer. And I could probably have it done for you in like a week, whereas some people do like doing things themselves and learning that themselves, and you could totally do that too. And then I thought that was a good point that you mentioned, Meg, too, because I primarily use Facebook now to get clients, but also having the SEO in place and my email list and my YouTube channel and my blog posts is nice, because that social media stuff also scares me too, where I'm like, oh God, if anything ever happened to Facebook or my Facebook account got hacked, I would be very upset.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, it's definitely nice to have the eggs in all those different baskets for sure. And it's awesome when I've had clients reach out to me from my SEO. I think probably it's like a 90% conversion rate, because they're already ready to go because they were searching for you. You don't really even have to do any convincing to your SEO clients that find you that way. It's really nice. They just come to you. They sought you out, and it's like an easy conversation after that.
I totally agree. And one of the things that, like, it takes, of course, time to do that, but that's why I hired you. I was like, this is not my zone of genius. That's why I was like, if you want to come and speak to the people about SEO, not my strength, not something that I like have a passion about. So if you want to outsource that, there are options. I try and help you to like, that's why I also hired Sydney as like a bonus for everybody, because I also want to help you to keep your businesses as lean as possible. Now, I pretty sure Sydney, like the first video is actually no sound, but the second one actually does have sound. And that I think appropriate, that was a perfect amount, because the first video, if you watch it, or hopefully you do, is just about making the website. And that's when I would totally recommend putting them side by side and just filling out the information, like looking and pausing and being like, okay, it's like, great. Okay, I'm going to move this here. Okay. And just like transferring things like that. I think that'd be great. The other thing I want to mention is, it is more of a question, but it's not necessarily about, um, it is, but I don't know if you can answer it. So like feel free to like be like, okay, I'll think about that and get back to you and I'll put it in the notes. But I was wondering if you, with the time, the hours, when I have Googled businesses in the past, there are hours that you can list for Google business. And I know we're talking about like website SEO. So if you don't know, totally fine. But like when I listed like Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, I found that if it was 6 o'clock and I Googled like coaches or business coaches in my area, the people who are closed actually went down, but the people who are open for longer hours went up. Like they were the top search. So it was like if you even had like, yeah, 40 reviews, like it's someone with like 7 reviews that worked more hours according to Google was listed beforehand. And so a question I had was like, should you just list like 24 hours Monday through or Sunday to Sunday? Like, even if that's not your real hours, because you'll have a different link that will send your appropriate times. Or would you suggest doing the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday and just leaving it at that?
I don't know. You could experiment.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I don't want to put you on. I was like, I'm so sorry to put you on the spot. I was
No,
like,
that's okay. Was it consistently like that? The people that had longer opening hours were more at the top?
yeah, that's what I saw when I was doing that. But I also, I'm not sure if that, like, so feel free to play around with that. Like, you'll still, even if you have more reviews with Google Business, it will still help you significantly within your Google SEO, which is, yeah, when people are just looking at people.
That's wild. So even people that had more reviews were
Yeah. Isn't that
that's
crazy? But like it's just like the time of day. I'm sure it's like because they're not open, they don't get listed when like someone's looking it up.
that's so funny. And you could put 24/7 because technically people can book a consult anytime.
What I said. So I'll keep you posted with how that goes. Give it a try if you
I'm
want
gonna
to.
change my hours tonight.
I did well, and also it takes like just so you know, it takes I think it took them 30 days to change mine.
To
So
change your hours?
yeah, like it
Wow,
takes a while to change it for I thought everybody.
that's so crazy. You
Like
think
I'm
it'd
pretty
be like
sure,
immediate, like, oh, just
right?
updating my hours.
Just throwing this on. Another fun thing about Google Business, and that Google Business page, I think it was Janet, when you were on that call before, sorry, not when you were on the call before, when we were trying to do your Google Business, because you're one of my one-on-one clients, we actually, instead of a website, I think we were able to just put acuity, like her booking link. So instead of having like a legit, like instead of having to like make a whole website, if you don't, if you don't want to do that, or like maybe you're in the process of working with Sydney and like you don't have something up yet, but you want to put something on your Google business page, you can always put your consult booking link, and that can be a temporary like placeholder. Yeah,
Yeah, a great point.
for her too. So yeah.
Oh, I saw Maria's question too. Meg, do you go over that in your program?
So I was about to mention that, Maria. So this is more about just like SEO, which is like search engine optimization, not necessarily about webinars. So like I think that your question was pertaining to if you, and I know that you actually use MailChimp as well, that's integrated with Squarespace. So Maria's question, I think, was specific. Yeah, no worries. So I think it was specifically about like if you use Squarespace and you put there, like, you know how there's an option to add a feature that's like have people type in their email here. It's like collect emails here. I forget what that's called under pages, but she was wondering if it would um it like if you collect, I mean, Maria, feel free to like unmute if that's not your question, but the way I'm reading this right now is that like if you put like a login here, like on Squarespace, does it get your emails and send them a link automatically, or do you have to do a separate email like MailChimp?
Hey guys.
Is that what you were asking, Maria?
I'm asking, yeah, kind of like I've done, I've made webinar pages where when you sign up, when say I'm a potential client and I want to sign up for Megan's webinar, I've done it where you go to the page, you put in your email, and from what I understand on Squarespace, there is a feature where it will like once you hit submit, there is a way to send one message back to the person who just signed up. And you can add like so if you have like a freebie, you can send them a message and like it'll be a link with the link, it'll be a email back to them with a link to the freebie, whether it's a video or a PDF, etc. My question, the one thing that I've like haven't been able to figure out how to do really easily, and I feel like I'm missing something, is if you have like a webinar page on I have a Squarespace website. If you have a page for your webinar and people sign up, what I want to do is for every sign up, you like grab the email and then there's a way to like drop it into a special list on MailChimp where you already have your like pre-written emails. Like Megan, you kind of taught us like, here's the 4 emails that you send pre-webinar. And like the only way, like, you know, like if somebody signs up 2 days before, but you started the email sequence on Sunday or like 3 days before, then like you have to manually every single day, like make sure you're adding every single person. And like people sign up at random times. Like I've missed adding people. And it just seems like there should be tech to like just feed anyone who signs up into like the correct MailChimp or whatever email service like list. And then they're like automatically included in any future email that gets sent out about the webinar, reminding them about it, the follow-up materials, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense, what I'm asking?
So like a subscription sign up for a freebie?
I'm more like specifically asking for either a webinar. It doesn't really matter what the thing is. It's like in a webinar situation where you're leading up to this like live event and people are signing up like at, you know, on any of the days leading up to the live like event. I'm asking about like how do you take a, you know, like an ever-changing amount of emails that are coming in and keep adding them to a list that you're sending that you're auto sending emails about the live event. Does that make sense? I know that's like, I don't know. I'm having a hard time describing it.
I think it'd be like, I think seeing it could help. So I'm just like pulling up mine for now. I think, do you mind Sydney, if I like answer this in a two-part question, because I think I know what she's asking.
Or Megan, we can totally save this for like a different time if other people have questions for Sydney that like I don't want to take up time here because this isn't like an SEO question at all.
Oh, I think it's okay. So, and correct me if I'm wrong. So, like, there are two things that I would like to address with this. There's getting people on your email list if your email list is a separate platform than Squarespace. And
I have that. Like that's set up for me.
You have that in Squarespace or in MailChimp?
Yeah, like where if somebody signs up to be on my email list, they just automatically get added to like my overall list of subscribers.
Okay.
But then if you only want to send emails to like people who signed up specifically for a webinar, that has to be like a different list in MailChimp or some other email platform.
Yeah, you could embed a sign up form though in Squarespace pretty easily. That way they could sign up.
Yeah.
And then it could add it to the specific list that you set in MailChimp.
That's like that's a functionality in Squarespace.
Yeah, totally. Have you done it before?
I feel like I have, and it's been like a huge problem. So maybe I just need to like try it again. I even was working with like a web designer and it was like this really weird, she was like, I was trying to use like I haven't done a webinar since I guess like she set things up, but she didn't, I mean, I didn't have like a page for it. So I was trying to use what's it called? Like Zapier or something. That
If
sometimes like
you have
helps you, like,
MailChimp, it'll actually go directly into the Squarespace. Like you could just add like a section and you could add a block and then you could integrate
Oh, you
the
pull it from MailChimp.
MailChimp sign up into there.
Got it. Yeah, I wonder. And then
If you Google it too, YouTube will show you exactly how to do it as well. It takes 2 seconds. Guys, I have a freebie giveaway at my website too. It's like a free e-guide or something at the bottom of my homepage, and then you just add a block, and then you integrate like a form, like a sign up form, and then you select MailChimp, and then it says connect MailChimp to Squarespace, and then you log in, and then it syncs it up for you, and then anyone who signs up, it automatically sends them whatever you set it up in MailChimp as. It's super easy.
okay, but when say you want to say like they get the freebie, like the initial kickback, they sign up and they get the freebie. Do you have a way after that if you were like, I'm going to write an email that's targeted specifically to every single person who like signed up for the freebie, and I don't want to send it to my whole email list?
Yeah, that would be under customer journeys in MailChimp. You could make like
Okay.
a whole thing there, because I have one too for my
Okay.
giveaway. I have it if like, if they opened it, if they didn't open it, like if they did open it, okay, this next email goes out. If they didn't open it, then this next email goes out. So you could build out like a customer journey like that.
And you think
And then if like after a few weeks they still haven't opened it, I have an email that goes out that says like, hey, just checking in. Did you receive that free e-guide? Like, how did it go? And then if they did open it, like a few emails later, there's like an email about me and what I do and how I help and a button to book a consult. So you could totally set up like those customer journeys in MailChimp like that.
Okay, yeah, that's probably. And then, yeah, I think the thing I need to figure out is how to insert the MailChimp block, but then make sure that when whoever signs up in that block, it goes into a specific list in MailChimp.
And
yeah,
because like right now,
on
like
that
the only
one.
thing I can do is that it just feeds everyone into like my main list that gets like every one of my emails.
Actually, no, if you create a separate list in MailChimp, then it'll send it only to that list. So if you created like a list for a webinar and you had it signed up on your Squarespace, when you link Squarespace to MailChimp, it'll say choose a list. And you could choose your whole subscribers, or you can choose different specific lists you've made. So you could do it that way.
Yeah, it's just that, yeah.
Does that so? And Maria, this is something that I also was figuring out. It's different language, but each like email platform will be something similar. So
Yeah.
I had to make a form. The way that so I use Flowdesk and it's a little expensive. That's why I don't typically recommend it. I've just gotten started with it and I keep paying the annual fee and like the annual renewal and keep forgetting. So within this, like you'll do it, I don't know what it looks like in Squarespace, but it'll be something like pop-up or inline form or footer. Like that's like what, or full page, like all these things are for an email. And when you hit customize it, it'll like ask you for a segment. What does MailChimp do, Sydney? Is it a segment or does it
It
like
says to choose a list, and then you can pick like everyone in your audience, or you can pick like a specific list, like webinar signups.
yeah. And so you can have a like freebie bottom of page, the freebie bottom of page for website. And everyone who goes to that, the way it looks in what Cindy was saying about the customer journey situation, it's called a workflow in Flowdesk, but it's the same kind of thing. So these are the triggers. I'm like the website footer, the inline website form, the email list webinar setup, all of these different segments. It will take them to one email in whatever external provider you have. And it will send them, let's say you want to do like a 5-day workshop or something like that. It'll send them this email and then they'll just join your email list. Maria, I would highly recommend not having people sign up for a freebie and then not joining your email list. Like if they've already opted in for something, it would be great for them to continue like staying on your email list. Now, when you have a something like this happen where there's a pop-up on your page about something specific like a webinar, what I've done is, and I'm going to do is I'm changing this email and I'm going to have this be for my webinar that's actually next Wednesday. And then after that, I'm going to change this same email. So I don't need to go back in and like change the footer and website and email and all that good stuff. I'm just going to go back into this email and make it my typical freebie. So that's all I'm doing. Now, for everybody else, if you don't want to pay for a separate subscriber or things like that, I did see on here. And if you do something like Flowdesk, I think you guys saw like that embed code. It's like a funky code, and you can just ask me about that. But within the like actually having like a place to register, this thing right here, I had to like get a code from Flowdesk in order to make this form work. The other thing is that like if you go to marketing, back to home here, and you go to marketing and you don't have an email list at all, what you can do is you can click on email campaigns. And I think this can like create a mailing list for you. I've never utilized this myself, but if you want to have an email list going, you can just do that directly on Squarespace as well. Is there anything you want to add, Sydney? I know it was like a lot.
I don't think so. I think she's talking about MailChimp though, so I'm not sure if that answered her question. Maria, did that answer your question?
I think that I'm gonna just need to go like look at it again.
Okay.
Like I'm not looking at my MailChimp like as we're talking about this, but I it sounds like I can do it. I can do what I'm talking about. And maybe they changed something or I missed it somehow before. Um, but yeah, I think like I feel good about going and like digging around in MailChimp more. Um,
Do you want me to share my screen and show you my integration from MailChimp to Squarespace?
Why don't we, if like no one else, if there's like nothing else to cover on the call, I'd be happy to do that, but I also don't want to like go down a rabbit hole. If other people have questions, maybe we check in.
Yeah, like if anyone has any other questions in the meantime, put them in the chat. But if it's a quick like 3 to 5 minute thing, I feel even though I've never used MailChimp before, I feel totally cool with you showing them how to use the MailChimp integration.
Oh, okay, cool. Should we do it now or wait for more questions?
I say go for it. The only other thing that I was going to bring up was the like when you actually like have which I think that you covered, just I'm like, gosh, I feel like today has just totally wiped my brain out with all the social media drama, but you covered how to make another page for their webinars, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so that was the only thing I was wondering. Like, I was like, my brain was like, I'm pretty sure that you did this, but great. And yeah, let's go ahead and look at other integrations because maybe at a late, even if this isn't like something that you're looking for right now, to be true, you were like, yep, I use the email campaigns. I'm super excited about that. But to hear like how that's going, oh, Janet just says,
Yeah, you can change your title for sure. Life coach is a category on Google My Business.
we
You
looked
might
up,
have to type it in when they say like pick a category.
yeah, we
'Cause
looked up host.
life coach.
It needed to have life coach in front of it. So we'll go back and check that out, Janet. Great question. That's for SEO for sure.
Yeah, you can change the name. One of my friends does professional car detailing, and I was like, oh, put that in your business name. Because he just put like Rosebud Garage is like his business name.
Yeah.
But I was like, you should put car detailing in that name as well, so that people can see that that's what it is, and then it'll just rank even higher.
Amazing.
I wonder if it'll let me share my screen. Share. Oh, sick. Cool. Yeah, I'll just show you real quick. I mean, hopefully it's quick. I haven't done this in a while. I might have forgot. Okay, this is my site. Oh, wow. That is so slow.
Of course, when we want to do something, it's like doing that. If anybody has any questions while it's loading, feel free to like put them in the chat or on mute. And do you have a blog on your Squarespace site, Sydney?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Because Vindy, I was thinking, I've been learning a little bit more about freelance writing. And this goes for anybody if you're looking about getting featured in the media more so. That is something that that could be helpful as well to have things listed, and it almost becomes like a portfolio. So that's one of the things I'm like learning a little bit about for you guys. And sometimes I know it takes a little bit longer when you're sharing your screen. So if you need to stop sharing it for a minute, pull it up.
Good idea.
Or like just something, because mine goes slow if I've got like a bunch of tabs up. Feel free to.
Wow, that is wildly slow.
It was why, but like I know what you mean. It's like it's funky to get those integrations kind of like up and running. It's so interesting to like see all the coding and stuff, and that's why it's like, actually I think you did there's like and I don't know if Squarespace is like this, but for Flowdesk, we needed to get like an actual code for the whole website and to be in this like weird, obscure location. And it was listed on Flowdesk, but it took a while. And then we had to we had to go in and like put the inline codes in. And it just took me a long time to figure out. And it really was not as complex as I made it out to be. In my mind, I was like, this is so challenging, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, this is like not loading at all. That's really weird.
Okay. Well, this is a freebie that's listed on your website, correct?
Yeah, yeah. It's just like a MailChimp sign up thing. Really bizarre. Huh. Weird. I could make a video on it though.
Oh my gosh, that would be like so helpful. And if that can help other people, that would be awesome. Because I know MailChimp is definitely like a very common one.
Yeah, yeah. I just made a note to do that. Sorry, that's so weird. It's not like loading at all. What on earth?
I think one of my cats, I think, is um having a hairball. So I'm like like looking down while also like I think he's all right. Goodness gracious, kittens. Poor little guy.
How old are they now?
They're two.
Oh my gosh.
Well, actually, no, I think they were born in May. So of 2022. So I guess they're only 1 year old. They're so little,
Oh, that's cute.
as you guys all know. Within just starting an email list, because I know that we're already like they're paying like $13 to $16 to get the basics of Squarespace. Demetria, with the email campaign, you said you were at the beach, so sorry, you can just say like in the chat or something like it's gone well utilizing their email as well. So like just in case, you guys do not need to get MailChimp or Flowdesk or anything like that. It's gone well having the Squarespace, Demetria. So I double check because I always like to help you keep your business is like nice and lean. And if you're already paying for a website, if you want to just like keep it all in there, great. Okay, awesome. Now, is there like if you were to like impart like any wisdom on like if you were to like kind of where they're at in their business, Sydney, like thinking about like they are just setting up the systems for it. I know that some of them might have had like websites before, or maybe this is their first website. The SEO with the Google business is like a great place to start within oh, great. Awesome. So they apparently have levels for the email pricing. But when you're thinking about SEO on the page, I know you mentioned like listing the same thing as many times as possible. And I was wondering if that also plays into like if they're writing a blog or if they're doing like a post or something like that. Is it helpful to include as many keywords as possible there as well?
Yeah. Yeah, like if you're writing an article on like how to be more motivated, then you'd want to have the word like motivation on there like at least 10 times, like as many times as you can. And then even like related keywords like motivation, motivated. What else?
And where do they look up those keywords again? Do you talk about that in the other video? Again, so sorry, remind me.
So where to put the keywords?
Yeah, and where to look up keywords? Like, is there a website that you would recommend for them?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Just a keyword is just like 1 to 2 words of your job title, basically, that people would be Googling. So like life coach or hairstylist or tattoo artist or yoga teacher or massage therapist. It's just 2 words of your basically service offering or your job title.
Okay,
And
so
then for like a blog post, like how to be more motivated, like motivation would be like the keyword. So you would just sprinkle that throughout the blog, like as many times as you can.
Is there like a way that like you can look up like keywords related to your business? Like I feel like that was a site that we talked about like before, or do you just kind of like utilize like whatever you're talking about? Do you use like it's like if you were talking about like systems, you would just say like system, or time management or organization, like you would just list that as many times as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like related words. You can use answerthepublic.com to like type in your keyword and it'll generate a bunch of like questions that people are Googling around it. And that would be a great place to get like blog writing ideas. Like it'll say specifically what people are asking that have your words in it. I'm trying to
Perfect.
think of a good example. Like I think I put in life coach once, and one of the common questions was like, what does a life coach do? Like people were Googling that, and I was like, perfect. There's a blog post title.
Done.
And it's just more likely to get read because it's like something specific that people are already searching for. So blogs are a great way to boost SEO too. I always recommend writing blogs.
Yeah. And I just saw that you linked that before. I again, apologies. My brain is just like it was just like quite a day of dealing with Meta and getting verified and all this fun adventures. So thank you so much. That is actually listed in the Google Classroom. So if you
Oh, perfect.
put that in there, all right, the answer the public. So that is great.
Perfect. Yeah. And there's also kinds of cool info on like how to search engine optimize your blog posts. Like you could Google it or YouTube it, but there's like mentioning the keyword and then keeping it around 1,000 words is good, they say. But I mean the recipe blogs though, those are a whole nother level. Though they make those like 3,000 words and they do it on purpose. It's all because of SEO, why recipe pages are so long. They're
Wow.
just trying to get more traction.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, any future recipe, nutritionist, cooking, baking, anybody that can be helpful. And I think that like if you just utilize what you've already written for a post or an email, it will probably be under 1,000 words anyway. So it's like that could be a great way to repurpose content. On the lines of a blog post, would you recommend doing multiple images? I remember um when I was doing blog posts, like the first image went to LinkedIn when I would repost my blog to LinkedIn. But I was wondering if all of the like if they should post more than one image. Like I know that's a strategy on Instagram. Are there blog strategies for SEO that you, other than like tagging the picture like you showed them how to do, is there anything else that can help with SEO on a blog, like having more images, less images, like anything like that?
Yeah, images help. Like if you have them just like sprinkled throughout, and then internal linking will help too. So like say you mention the importance of organization when it comes to time management. It's like a time management blog, but then you mention like organization is really important to time management. You could put like a link to like here's an article for 3 ways to get more organized. So it's another link that links to another part of your own website. Internal linking would be a great strategy too.
Okay, so like if they're doing a post about like time management, they can be like, see this other blog, or be like, check out this like webinar I did. Like that's a good way to do it too.
Totally. And I put like a call to action at the end of all my blogs to like book a consult. That's another internal link because it just links to my scheduling page. So yeah, the internal linking is a great way to go too.
Awesome. And you integrated your scheduling page into your website. It doesn't take them to a separate website.
Yeah, I use Acuity.
And you can link Acuity into Squarespace.
Yeah, yeah. I just put like a button on the
Huh?
website that says like book a free consultation and then it links to Acuity.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought there was a way to like integrate it. So like the Acuity page would show up, but they would keep them on the
Oh
web.
yeah, there is that too. You can create I think it's called like a scheduling page on Squarespace, and it'll take you to a page that has your scheduling link like on your website. You could do that too.
Because isn't like, so SEO, like the kind of things that improve SEO, from what I understand, is the amount of words that times that you use the same word over and over. So it becomes like the most Googled, the amount of reviews that you have people can actually get onto your page. And then once they're there, it's sounding like a lot of the same words utilized, keywords utilized for specific things, internal links. And it's also, isn't it like also like how long someone stayed on your website is a good thing?
Yeah.
So like if I'll try and figure out how to do that, or if you feel so called to include that with the MailChimp thing, like no pressure, but like that would be great. So I could like, because that could be like if they're staying on your website for a longer period of time, then that could also be a good way. I've never done that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that website video, like how I laid it out, is kind of like a wireframe that will keep them continuing to read it because the homepage is the most important page on the site. Like as long as it's like entertaining and attention grabbing and it's like organized and summarized and broken up, like everything they would need to know is like on the homepage in like a clean way that pleases the eye, then they'll stay on it longer. So like
Right.
my site, I have my homepage is ridiculously long, but the longer the better, because the more words you have, the more Google will reward your website. So I have, like what do I have? Like the main first part, which is the most important part that you land on that I went over in the video. And then I have like this is for you if, this is not for you if, like who I am, what I do, how it helps. I have like some of my YouTube videos on there. Like I have some blog post like summaries. Like these are the latest like 12 blogs that they can click into. So that book in the SEO resources too, Marketing Made Simple, I
Yeah.
think it's by Donald Miller, is a really great resource too, because he's where I got the wireframe from for like how to build out your homepage in a way that's like clean, summarized, attention grabbing. But I wish he would have included SEO in his book because people make these beautiful websites, but if you don't have the right words, it's almost pointless because your site will not get seen by anybody if it's like super short or doesn't have your words. So the words is like really the most important part, is like having your words on there, and a homepage having at least 300 words, like 1,000 would be ideal. So it's just really like a words and a writing game.
Yeah. And I just added Marketing Made Simple, and on the wireframe is just the layout of your website and of your homepage. That worksheet that you included, if you guys go into the hyperlink that's there, I have the pages that have the examples in my website. And what I would tell like anybody, if like you have paid for this program, I'm paying Sydney. So it's like if you have like if you want to you just copy and paste what we did for my website and change it to be words that make sense for you, like do it. Like it makes things easier. I think that the person who did Online Coach Accelerator, who was um she also did Marketing Made Simple. Like, yeah. So it's like I want to make things as easy as possible. Like and make it so that like this is a one-stop shop, like you don't have to, but I also know that like if you want to just save time, then Sydney could also just like get all this done for you. And if you would like to just do it yourself or that kind of a thing, it just, I think at any event, like even if you even if Sydney, I think you would probably agree, like even if you make the website for somebody, like you don't want them to be totally inept and be like, oh my gosh, what is a wireframe? What is like, okay, I made a blog, like I don't know how to make a blog post. So it's like this gives you like starting ground if you want to do it yourself, or also like just great education and scaffolding for even if you hire someone to make your website as well.
Yeah, totally. I love using Squarespace for that reason. It's just so freaking easy. And then once you make one beautiful page, you can just duplicate it and make the same page and like change the wording. Like if you guys want to go on my website, it's just resourcequeen.us. And I have like under my services, I have like my different life coaching packages, like better work-life balance. And then I have like a personal growth coaching package, and they look exactly the same. There's just different words. And then another amazing thing with words too is like I've noticed, Meg probably already taught you guys this, but just like using really like layman's terms language, I've noticed like skyrocketed my business, like using things that people say, like time management, motivation, like work-life balance. Like I used to use like really niche words, like cyclical living and all kinds of stuff that like wasn't resonating. But yeah, the words on the website are probably the most important along with the images. And I think I shared this in the website videos too, but try not to use stock photos at all. Like
Yeah.
use all original pictures because Google doesn't like stock images. It won't get as good of visibility if they're not your own pictures. But yeah, it's really just a words game.
And
But
I,
some people just don't want to like have to think about it or deal with all of it.
yes,
So it's totally up to you.
which is why I did it. But I also, it helps to understand it. And I included the book recommendation, the websites, and the Q and A I'll add as well. After this call, I was wondering, I think we got time for like one more question, a quick one. Does anyone have any last minute questions about like how the website SEO can help your business to grow? Oh my gosh. Also, that rhymes. Sydney, you should totally use that if you pitch a site.
What did you say again?
How website SEO helps your business grow.
Oh, that's so funny. That'd be a great tagline if I still had my website business.
Yeah. Like only the struggle. But like, yeah, this is, I think, helpful for other people to see and like, just like make things easier.
Mhm.
Oh, question about the blog. Does it update your most recent blog posts? If you scroll down, way
Yeah,
down. So it just like there's a piece where you click add blog and it'll just link whatever your most recent blogs are.
yeah. On my homepage at the bottom, you can add a block. It's called summary,
Okay.
and you can select like blog, and then it'll just give you the latest blogs. And that I, for some reason, love seeing sets of three. So either like 3 or 6 or 12. I think I put 12
You have
because
12.
I write a lot of blogs and I love writing. And you can see on Squarespace like where people are clicking in your website the most. And I saw a lot of people were reading the blog. So I write a lot of blogs. So I put 12. So you can put 3, 6, or 9 or 12. And then it'll just populate the most recent ones for you. Or if you have one that you love and you want it to always stay on there, you can just make it a featured blog post and then it'll stay. Can Google tell if a blog post is written by ChatGPT? I have no idea.
I don't
Good
probably.
question.
I would say at change and actually like I would say that always like change a couple enough words that if I've never used ChatGPT for any post or anything like that, but I would love to talk to you guys about that and like see where you're feeling about it because I think there can also be a lot of benefits. And like I've heard a lot of ways that it's utilized instead of just like crank out content, that it could also be utilized just for like some ideas and things like that and SEO as well. So um I'm 90% sure that Google will flag you if it recognizes it's been written by somebody else, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really good from what I've heard. I've actually thought about like actually to be sure, I was thinking about Christina and like having her come on and being like she does a mastermind with Demetria and they were in the last round together. But I was thinking about having her come on and like talk about like how she's utilizing ChatGPT. I think so many people are utilizing it right now. It's just like
Wow.
interesting form, but I do think that like if you use it, from what I've heard, is you'll get flagged on Google and it'll be like,
Hmm.
you're not a real person.
Yeah, that makes sense since it scans everything for copyright.
Yeah, if you edit it a little bit, I think you'll be okay. I just so you guys know, I think one of the reasons why I got flagged today is because I was trying to show Rob how to interact with hashtags in a way that I was like learning with like the media coaching that I'm doing. And I think he just did it too fast. And the algorithm could catch that even. Like that's why my account got flagged today. So just be cautious. I'm sure by the time like if people are watching this years in advance, like I'm sure that like it'll probably be better hopefully by then, but like it was a very fast like no, the community doesn't like this, and I think Google's the same way, and you just don't want to like get on the bad side of Google, especially if you're paying for a domain name and for Squarespace and things like that. Like not worth it just to copy paste to batch super quick and like abundantly, you know.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, so that's my 2 cents. But those are some great questions. Again, do not just reach out to Sydney and be like, oh, answer all these other questions that I have, because I want to make sure that she is compensated and isn't just like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like I did not pay for you to just like come on here and ask questions indefinitely. So I hope this answered all your questions. I'll do the best of my ability to answer any other questions that you guys might have. But if you do want to hire Sydney, I did include her information here, and definitely like check that out. Thank you, Sydney. I appreciate you so, so much. You're awesome. And I will see a lot of you guys tomorrow. All right.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good luck, everybody, with your websites.
Thanks for coming. Bye, lady.
Bye, guys. Thank you.